Introducing ViziSmart Founder Talks, where we interview exceptional leaders making an impact in our world. Today, we're featuring Chaz Guinn, founder of Revolve Capital.
When I got in, a lot of this was manual. There was a lot of manual keystroking. There was a lot of people visiting each home, doing a lot of physical work to get the returns we're getting today passively.
You seem to have a very strong vision for the future. What are the biggest goals for 2025, and how do you see technology fitting into those goals?
I think the biggest goals for us as a company is how do we make the greatest impact? The only way we can do that is through volume, because if we can only touch a small segment of the market that really needs to create impact through allowing somebody who hasn't made their mortgage payment since COVID, and believe it or not, there's hundreds of thousands of folks that are still sitting in their home today that haven't made a payment since March or February of 2021. Believe it or not, those folks have the ability to stay and pay on their mortgage, but they don't have the ability to reinstate the mortgage. Okay, so there is alternative ways for us to keep those folks there and allow families to not be displaced from different school districts and keep together and allow the financial times that you're experiencing today to be a blip. So that's impact I believe we're trying to make, number one. Number two is how do we see technology playing in? I couldn't be more excited about where we're seeing AI. And I know that's the catchword and the buzzword we're all hearing in this machine learning. But look, what we do today has rule sets. It has if or then statements to them. And by applying these rule sets, we can better learn behavior. And by learning behavior, we can create faster and more streamlined impact. I've been saying to the world that fintech in our space is far behind where Amazon is in their space, right? The ability to order something from your iPhone today and receive it today needs to start catching up with real estate transactions, right?
And the system. I've been saying this for a long time too. Yeah.
And now we're starting to see AI being able to take a full physical document file where it would take somebody manually to go through that file 2-3 hours, and AI and machine learning doing that in seconds, if not minutes. Being able to help streamline the business, I think is really kind of taken shape, I would say aggressively over the last 3 years, but I can only imagine what happens over the next 2 years just in terms of the pace that tech is starting to get infiltrated into the market.
Yeah, it's incredible. You know that bell curve? We're in the uptick of that bell curve right now.
Couldn't agree more. And I know I'm speaking to a biased audience, right? But sure, I feel like real estate is still today wants to get its hands wrapped around signing documents and still doing physical notaries, right? And still wanting to kick the tires and touch the walls and feel the granite, right? I don't think we're ever going to get away from that. But I will say when a decision is made to whether you're you're a landlord and you're managing your cash flow or managing water heater breaks or roof fixes or your normal maintenance that takes place on a property, a lot of that is still done manually. If you flip over from a landlord to what we call a lien lord, right? So your first lien holder, and right, so you now can be passive.
He's coining that one. Yeah.
But the lien lord says, you're not calling me at the midnight hour when something breaks, nor my property manager, right? You call my servicer. What tech is happening between servicer and investor? That needs to get up to speed. So whether you're a landlord or a lien lord, you can see tech is needed to be able to keep up with every other industry that we're seeing adopt the tech space. So it's about time, as mentioned.
So true. It's so true.
Amazing. So as AI starts saving you and your team valuable time, where do you expect to be reinvesting that saved time?
Gosh, it's I don't think we're ever going to get away from the need of humans in this space, but I think there's going to be less need of humans in this space. So I love Sirhan, how he said, let's have expansion always in all ways. So that's a coin off of, we need to get more efficient with how people are being used today, and we're still seeing in our space specifically, in title, in insurance, in tax, in property management, servicing management. A lot is still done manually. So where we're starting to understand in the adoption of the machine learning in our space specifically is we're going to need less FTEs to manually do what machines are doing today, but I'll still need some qualified person to sit above the machine, right? To ensure that the quality control still remains and the governance of things that don't get bottlenecked get unbottlenecked. And so I do imagine, to your question, of reinvesting back into the infrastructure of what I expect tech to bring the firm. In terms of, we have a lot of our homeowners that make monthly payments, like people make their rent payment. So there's a lot of moving parts between the bank accounts, the homeowner making the payment to the servicer, and the servicer remitting it to our bank account, and then that data reaching our system to register that payment's been received, and they're now due for their next month's payment. Right? There are systems in place that have that workflow pretty systemized, but there's still some manual touching of that example. So I expect to reinvest a lot more cleaner APIs,